How's it going, YouTube? SicErik back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the LG Wing. My month with this, I've had this phone for a little over a month, and I'm going to go over my thoughts of it, what I think of it, what I like, what I don't like, etc. And we're going to go ahead and start off with that. And this phone came out quite some time ago, but T-Mobile had it on sale about a month ago, so that's when I got it. It is now back up on price, back to $999. But when I got this phone, it was, I believe it was $650. Really nice phone. There are a lot of things that I do not like about it, but there are some things that I really do like about it. So first off, we're gonna talk about these displays, or this display, which is pretty much the main display. It is a POLED 6.8 inches, and it does have a resolution of 1080 by 2460 with a PPI of 395. It is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 5. It does have an always-on display as well. The second display is a 3.9 inch GOLED, and it has a resolution of 1080 by 1240. So both OLED displays, they both look really nice. I would say that these are the strong points of this device, is that, you know, no notch, no hole punch on either one of these, which is really nice to see. There is no interruptions on your display, so really nice. Colors on here are fantastic. Like, this is a really nice panel. Only thing I do not like about it is that it is a 60 Hertz refresh rate. I kind of wish LG would have included a higher refresh rate. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm spoiled by it, and I just feel like everything on here feels so like sluggish. Maybe the animations, like when you're swiping away notifications, they're so slow going across, and that's with activating developer options and changing the animation speed. But it's really not a huge deal. Most people don't even know about things like that. But as for me, being a tech reviewer, I look for things like that, like high refresh rates, awesome in performance and everything. So I nitpick the hell out of these phones because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. But excellent display, excellent colors. You'll probably be seeing some display samples on here flash on your screen. Really nice. The main thing about this phone is that you can multitask. So I could go into Facebook right here, and then, or I could go back home and I could go into YouTube, and then down here I could go into Facebook and open up some stuff and start watching video, which is really nice that you could do that. You could do a whole bunch of different options with this to set up. You could also pair some apps to where you open up, you know, YouTube, and you throw in Google at the bottom, which is really nice. But you can also just open up whichever ones you want to do up, and you can access all your apps on here and open any which one in any combination that you want. Do the same thing down here. You have all your apps. You just get to go ahead and choose which apps you want to be shown at the bottom, and you can go ahead and click them all, and they will be shown at the bottom as well. So really cool. This thing is definitely a multitasking beast as far as being able to do so much and being able to rotate this however you want to and utilize both of these two different displays. So that is really nice. I do give LG props for that. They do make nice panels, and the innovation is here is just the specs are a little bit, you know, lowered and dumbed down, which is things that I don't like, that 60 Hertz refresh rate, etc. So going over build quality, this is covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 5 front and the back. You do have a metal frame. There is only IP54 splash proof on here. It still has the MIL-STD 810G compliant drop on here, but I would not want to drop this without a case just because of this display and this rotating screen. You probably would damage it if you did not have a case on here. And most cases that I've seen, which is another flaw, only cover the back part. They do not cover the front part, the one that's more vulnerable to breaks and falls, which trying to find a case for this is a little bit not as annoying as I thought it would be, but you still have to consider that most cases are gonna just cover up the back and not the entire front. So that is another thing to think about. Really nice build. The color on here is the Illusion Sky, I believe. Really nice color. I love the design and these little, you know, pixelated dots on the back to give you that little bit of a nice feel to it. So really nice. There are some little bit of scratches from it scratching along the frame, but nothing serious. It has actually held up pretty well, but this color is just really nice color, really beautiful. It does come in an aura gray, so if you want something a little less flashy, probably go for the gray version. But this one is a really nice flashy color, and it feels really nice in the hands. As you can see, there are a little bit of a top bezel and a bottom bezel on here. Sort of reminds me of like the Note 9, but it's not that serious. No hole punches, no notches. Really nice. Going on platform, this does run on Android 10. We can go ahead and go into about the phone. It does run Android 10 on here, and the latest update I believe was from January. I think I've only gotten like 2 updates since I've had this phone, so that's another thing LG should work on. Snapdragon 765G chipset on here, 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of expandable storage. Yes, this does have a micro SD card slot on here, so you can expand that storage furthermore than you do just by having a 256. You can, you know, expand it a lot more on there, which is really nice. Not even the new Samsung devices have expandable storage, so kudos on LG for doing that. Adreno 620 GPU, so the specs are mid-range specs on here. The hardware a little bit above mid-range, but the specs and the internal are a little bit mid-rangey on here. For $1,000, I do not think that it's worth that. If you were able to get this cheaper, then I believe that that might have been a better deal. Cameras on here are another strong suit of this device. You do get 3 cameras on the back. You get a 64 megapixel main sensor, a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And that 12 megapixel is going to be the one that sort of crops in when you're in gimbal mode. So if I were to unlock this and go into camera, and once I swipe it open, it brings you into gimbal mode. And pretty much what this does is that it's cropped out those areas that you're going to be moving into when you swipe on over using the gimbal mode up and down. So that's really cool software stuff on here. Cameras are another strong suit on here. Pictures on here come out really nice. Video, I've used this phone to take video for my channel. Really nice options. You got manual video, everything on here that you could think of. ASMR, bokeh, voice on here, a lot of stuff. And this whole gimbal mode, while it can only record at 1080p, it's still really nice to have. Low light on this device isn't that great when you're taking pictures at night or in a dark room, especially when you're video recording. There was a lot of noise going around if you're using this to record in low light or at nighttime. But during the day and normal pictures, this thing is an absolute beast. I love using this phone to record videos and, you know, record in the pro mode, because then you can control everything on here. Your ISO, your autofocus, everything you can control on here. You could also control your microphone with your gain and everything else on there. You can choose to record up to 4K 60 frames per second, so that's really nice that you can do that with the LG. So really nice option for photography and video. You probably would have seen some pictures flash on your screen and a little bit of a video clip, but this thing takes really good pictures and really good video, and I was quite surprised by that. But it does deliver in the photography department, other than that low light performance on the LG Wing. Continuing on that camera front, the front facing camera is a 32 megapixel pop-up camera, as you can see right there, and you can see me. How's it going, guys? 32 megapixel pop-up camera, which is cool and allows you to not have that, you know, uninterrupted display, which is really cool. And you can record up to 4K on that front facing camera. as well, which is cool, and it is pretty quick. A little bit noisy, that motorized sound, but it's really not that bad. I think the OnePlus 7 Pro did it really nice with that pop-up camera. And like I said, you can record up to, I believe it is, let's see if we could go into video. Yeah, you can record up to 4K on that front-facing camera, so that's really cool that LG includes that. I really like to record using the front-facing camera sometimes when I'm doing my videos. That way I could sort of see what I'm doing. So yeah, video and picture quality on here, you will not be disappointed. You got Bluetooth 5.1 on here, and the Bluetooth quality on here is excellent. You do have LG's 3D sound engine. Of course, you can't turn it on when you don't have Bluetooth connected. There is no headphone jack, which means there is no hi-fi DAC on here, which is a little bit of a bummer. LG really knocked it out of the park with the V60 and the Velvet with having headphone jacks, mainly the V60 for having that quad DAC on there, but you will not find any sort of headphone jack on here, which is pretty sad. Speaker quality on here, it only has one downward firing speaker, and let me tell you guys, this thing is not the greatest speaker in the world. It's like LG innovated everywhere else, but they threw in a speaker from 4 or 5 years ago on here. It's a single firing speaker, and when it does get loud, it does get distorted. And yeah, I really do not like watching content unless I have Bluetooth headphones connected, or a speaker, or have it to my car, connected to my car or something. But yeah, the speaker, it'll get you by, but it's not very detailed, especially if you go up too high. It will distort on you, and it will sound really just, there's no detail in that bottom firing speaker, so keep that in mind. Battery on here, you do get a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and you do get wireless charging and fast charging. I believe it's 25 watt fast charging. You can wirelessly charge on here as well, and it is quick charge 4.0, so that's really good that they do offer wireless charging, so you can charge this up pretty nicely. Battery life is okay. It's not the best in the world going out, you know, with an 8-hour day at work. I probably leave work after my 8 hours of streaming music and playing music on here all night, and I'll have like maybe 30 or 40% left on the LG Wing. So battery life isn't the greatest in the world, but it'll get you by, and it's definitely not any better if you use both of the displays at the same time all the time, because that will drain the battery a little bit more when you're using both of the displays, obviously, because you're having to power up an extra secondary display. So keep that in mind. Battery life, it's okay, it's not the greatest, but it will get you by, and it will do the job just fine. Yeah, the LG Wing is definitely a very innovative phone from LG. Might be the last phone from them. As far as we could tell, they are dropping out of the smartphone industry, so this may very well be the last smartphone the LG releases. This and the LG Velvet, and then of course the V60 from last year. So other than that, it's a great camera performer, great video. The display is excellent. There is no high refresh rate. There's only 8 GB of RAM, which is pretty good, but LG software is just really slow to me, especially when you're swiping down and you're swiping away notifications. They just go by so slow, and I just think that maybe I'm just spoiled by high refresh rates on displays. But you could definitely notice this when I'm using this and I come from, you know, my S21 or my Note 20 or anything like that. You could definitely notice a difference that this phone is definitely a little bit slower than those devices. Even the Pixel 4a 5G has a 60 Hz refresh rate, but that thing seems a lot more snappier than this phone. And I believe it's got 6 GB of RAM, but it is optimized by Google, and that phone feels a lot more snappier than this phone does, which is just crazy. So software, LG is not the best on there, and it does not look like we're going to be getting any more software updates. By what I hear, we might, but I think they might not be pushing out updates. I'm not sure. You guys might want to check that out. But as far as improvements on the UI, I don't think LG is going to be making any more improvements. The last update did increase the speed when you're flipping open the display. That used to be really slow and sluggish, but the last update did speed that up a little bit, so that's good. And it did improve the camera quality a little bit as well. But other than that, it's a great device. Not for $1,000. I do not recommend getting this for $999. It's just not worth it with those mid-range specs on there. If you were able to get this on sale while it was on T-Mobile a couple months ago, great. It's great at $600 that it was before, or $650 I believe, but not at $999. I don't know what LG was thinking pricing this thing at $1,000 just because of the swivel display. Yeah, it's cool, but you still get those mid-range specs on the internals, and I just didn't think it was worth $1,000, which is why I did not pick this up when it first came out. I waited a little bit, it went down in price, and then I got it. But other than that, the innovation is here. It's a nice phone. The display really surprised me as far as color quality and everything. Resolution, I don't mind 1080p. It's a very nice panel. Battery life, it's okay. Strong cameras on this guy. They do perform really nicely when recording video. Battery life, speaker, definitely not the greatest in the world. It definitely does suck. Build quality, this thing feels really nice considering that it's a freaking sliding phone. It does not feel like anything special when you're holding it. It has a little bit of weight to it, and it is a little bit thicker, but you could also use it just like a regular phone. Another thing that's slow about this that I'm trying to remember is the fingerprint sensor is not the fastest in the world, guys. It has sped up a little bit after the last update, but it's definitely not as fast as Samsung's or OnePlus's fingerprint sensors. Just keep that in mind for LG. It is not the fastest in the world. And you also do get your Google feed over here on LG's launcher, which is another nice thing that LG included. But my strong points on these strong points of this device have to be the camera and this gimbal mode and being able to record so many different ways on here. It is just ridiculous. You could do dual recording, which has the front-facing camera recording me right there, and then also what else you're recording. You could also flip that around. So really nice features in the camera department, like a lot of features that you can do with this device. And like I said, camera quality on here is excellent, video quality excellent. So that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this video of my 1 month review of the LG Wing. It's a great device. Try pick it up, but only if you could get it at a discounted price, not at $1,000. I don't think it's worth it. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. That is quite all right. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that little notification bell for future notifications on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there. Peace.